Okay, so today I'd like to talk about exposure compensation and specifically using exposure compensation with a flat profile. Now, if you don't know how to make a flat profile, pretty much all cameras have flat or a neutral profile that you can adjust in your photo shooting menu for Nikon, and then you set picture control, and you can also adjust it. Or in Sony, it'll also be in the first photo menu, page 12. And then a flat profile is really just taking things away. Take away the saturation, the brightness, the detail, the contrast. So then you can add as much or as little as you want later in post. So of course, as with anything, I came across this by accident because I don't normally use exposure compensation. So I was just taking some photos at a friend's baby shower, and I had the exposure compensation on -3 stops, which is the highest you can go. And of course, since I don't normally use exposure compensation, I didn't really know what that dial was, so I didn't pay attention at all. So when I took the photos, this is how it looked on the back of the screen, and it's how it looks in grid view here in Lightroom. However, if I go to the develop module, now you see the exposure has gone dark because I had it on -3 stops. But you'll notice something else too when I bring the exposure up. And you probably already noticed it. Now all the color is there, all the saturation. And if I didn't have exposure compensation on, I would just have to adjust it all in the develop module here. But personally, I also think it garners slightly better results than if I didn't have exposure compensation on. I'll give you another example. This was taken with a different camera. This was taken with my D850. And the exposure compensation again was on, I think, -3. I made it pretty dark. So if I go to the develop module again, nothing changes. It still looks dark. I bring up the exposure. I could bring it all the way up to 5 if I want. And now it's no longer flat. And all the color is there, all the detail. So there's just a little trick that you can use to enhance your photography. You might not want to use it all the time. Depends on the situation. Maybe in more controlled environments as opposed to outdoors like this one. But you get some pretty nice results.